Seva kunja vijay ramye kavardhana giro sada Radha kunja rasananda tatta seva pradayana Gurum naranakyam tam vande vinora prashtatam Yakpara smiti matrena damodara Panchakalpadruvyascha kripa sindhu bhayavascha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Namo Mahavananyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Krishna He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Vipra Radha Kanta Namaste Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Bhaktya Vihina Parana Laksha Chittasya Kamarita Madhya Kripamayi Kam Charanam Pramanna Vrinde Namaste Charanam Vadhani Radham Aravinda Netram Varani Radham Madhura Sudasam Vadhani Radham Karuna Varatram Tato Mamanyasti Vade Madhami Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivati Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, for my sister Nandar Pranam Tatmatan Global City Paramarat Nampur Parama Vishnu Paras of the Shishman Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Sri Maharaj. For my sister Matra Pranam Tatmatan Global City Manchi Rupana Gori Guru Varga. For my sister Nandar Pranam Tatmatan Guru Vaishnava. Continuing very from Maharaj.Bhagavat Gita, chapter 7, verse 5. Aparayam itastanyam prakritim vidhime param jiva bhutam mahobaho yayadam daryade jagat. Oh Mahabaho, you should know that my external energy, which consists of 8 divisions, is inferior. There is another potency of mine known as the Jiva Swarup, which is superior and which accepts the material world for the purpose of enjoying the fruits of karma. Bhavanuva. Because its nature is inert, the earlier mentioned Bahiranga Shakti is external, apara. The Tatastha Shakti in the form of the Jivas is different from the Bahiranga Shakti and superior, para, to it because of the presence of consciousness. The reason that it is superior is that by its conscious nature it sustains the universe. That is, it accepts the material world for the purpose of its own enjoyment. Prakashika Vritti, Srila Gurudev. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes Krishna as saying, besides its material nature, apara prakriti, there is my marginal nature, tatastha prakriti, which is also called jiva or para prakriti. That prakriti is conscious, Chaitanya Swarup, and it is in the form of the jivas, Jiva Swarup. All the jivas emanating from that energy have made this inert material world conscious. The jiva has the capacity to understand and move in either the Chit Jagat, transcendental world, which is emanated from my internal energy, Antaranga Shakti, or in the Jat Jagat, the inert world, which has emanated from my external energy, Bahiranga Shakti. Jiva Shakti is also called Tatastha for this reason. So you have the Chit Jagat, that is the spiritual or conscious realm, reality, spiritual world. And then you have the inert world, that is this Maya, this Jat Jagat. Here everything, all matter is without, devoid of consciousness. In the spiritual world, every single stone, every single part of that world is conscious. In this world, the consciousness only comes from the jiva. When the jiva accepts the material body, that material body, inert body, then that body comes to life. In the spiritual world, everything, the rocks, the sand, everything is conscious. Rivers, everything. Leaves, trees. There's nothing that is judged, nothing mundane, material there. Everything is spiritual. So jivas, they desire to lord over this inner world, they have come here. They're trying to become the lords. Enjoy this world. Those Bhakta jivas who are averse to Sri Krishna manifest in this world from this Tadashta Shakti. It is a great misconception to think that the Bhakta jivas have given up their service to Krishna and have come from Vaikuntha or even higher from Goloka. This idea is opposed to Siddhanta. Once a jiva has attained service to Krishna in his abode, it is impossible for him to fall from that position. As it is said in Gita 15:6, Yat gatva tu nivartante tat dhama paramam mama. Those who attain my supreme dham never return to this material world. Srila Gauranga Goswami Maharaj said, not even a leaf falls from Vaikuntha. Nothing can come. The only thing that comes from that spiritual world are the devotees of the Lord, who willingly come in this world to preach. There is no question of the jiva falling from the spiritual world. There in the spiritual world, there is no conception, idea about even Maya, and how will they be influenced by Maya and attracted to this world? How will they come in? They don't even know anything beyond that. It's like a frog who is born in a well. He doesn't know what is outside the well. How can he even think about it? How can he live? By some great miracle, if he leaves that well, then okay, then he gets to see everything. It's like opposite example. In the spiritual world, it is like the spiritual world is 3/4 of the reality. This material world is 1/4. One small aspect. The jivas in the spiritual world are constantly engaged in Thakurji Seva, Bhagavan Seva. They have no time to think about anything else. Nor is there any access, nor vision, nor anything to this material world. It is far beyond the Viraj Nadi, that is the causal ocean. Causal ocean is the border which is lying between the spiritual world and the material world. Mahavishnu lays there in the causal ocean and he emanates from the universe from his feet force. So the jivas, only those jivas who come out of Mahavishnu, they enter into the material world. The jivas that are in the spiritual world, they never leave that abode. Chitraketu Maharaj and Jai and Vijay never fell down. They appeared in this world voluntarily and enacted the roles of Bhakta jivas for the pleasure of Bhagavan. The jivas who are absorbed in service to Sri Krishna in the spiritual world manifest either from Sri Baladeva Prabhu or from his expansion, Mahasankarshan, who is none different from him. They are eternally liberated jivas. It is never possible that they fall. Only if you know about something, you may be attracted to it. If you don't know about it, then how will you be attracted to it? So the jivas in the spiritual, they don't have any knowledge about Maya. How will they be attracted to it? So, therefore, this conception is, the reason why this conception comes from is because in Christianity, this conception of Adam and Eve biting the apple, forming their sin, and then they are forced to leave heaven, come on earth, like this. So when Prabhupada was preaching in the West, and he saw that many of his disciples have Christian background. So in order to simplify the Siddhanta, he sometimes said things that his disciples misunderstood. He said, oh, yeah, we have come from the spiritual world. In other words, he's trying to say that we are spirit. We are part and parcel of Bhagavan. But one time one of his disciples asked, he said, we have come from the spiritual world. What does that mean? What way? He said, just like you were with your father before you were born, the same way. You were with Krishna before that. You mean in a seed form. You are not engaged in Premway Seva then. You are in a seed form. It's like the Jivatma is with his father, the form of his vital energy. Only when he gets impregnated into the womb, then he can take birth. But you are in a seed form with Krishna, that means you are dormant. Like the jivas who are inside Mahavishnu, they are inactive. Only when he injects them into this material world, to his glands, then they can actually take a body and function. Or those jivas who look towards Krishna, then they attain a spiritual body and then they engage in prema seva. So, there's no. So Prabhupada, Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada, sometimes he was preaching in a little simplified way for his disciples. And in order to help his disciples grasp these difficult concepts. The concept about Tatastha Shakti, the Jiva being Tatastha, towards Maya, spiritual world, it requires some more deeper understanding. So Prabhupada wanted to simplify things. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Go out and go out and Nagar Sankirtan. Do Harinam. Like he kept it very simple. That's why they were able to progress. He gave them something they could, the Westerners at that time, they could adopt very easily into their life, accept, without having to too much overthink. This way the movement spread. For preaching it was very favorable. Everyone all the time was only focusing on these things. Harinam Sankirtan, book distribution, preaching. That was their life. Otherwise the movement would not have spread every town and village. So if they would have gotten too much deep into the philosophy, then they would have been sitting contemplating philosophy. And the mood would have been different. Sometimes in order to simplify things, you have to get things done, you have to simplify. You have to give simple instructions, straightforward instructions that people can grasp. So in that way, from that time when this conception came, some people then especially later after Prabhupada, people started thinking, drawing their own conclusions and making a whole siddhanta, a whole philosophy about it, or how the jiva has come to the spiritual world. So Swami Maharaj Prabhupada never stated that. But he gave you some ambiguous statements regarding the jiva. But many places clearly said, I think if you read his purpose, the 7th canto of Bhagavatam, how Jai and Vijay, they are cursed by the 4 Kumaras. There in the purport, he directly says, one should not think that the Jai and Vijay have fallen from the spiritual world. He directly says it. Not come to this conclusion. Therefore, later on, then Gurudev and these doubts were brought up to Gurudev, he was preaching, and Gurudev then he resolved these things. It was an issue. Especially Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj was preaching, and he was preaching against this concept. Siddhanta cannot be changed. I can tolerate anything, but I cannot tolerate when they change Siddhanta. So, it was very clear. So then, these arguments, this back and forth began. Gurudev then he really established. You know, in the Gita, many Pramana is there. In the 8th chapter, there is a verse, A Brahma Bhuvanau Loka Puna Avartina Arjuna Mama Petteda Kamtaya Punar Janmana Vigata. All the way from the bottom, from Patal Lok, all the way to Brahma Lok. This place is a realm of repeated birth in there. But Mama Petteda Kamtaya, O son of Kunti, anyone who attains me, Punar Janmana Vigata, never have to take birth again. We heard 15th chapter. Madgatva Tuni Vartanta Tad Dhamma Varnam. One who comes to my dham, he never leaves that place, never goes from there. And Bhakti Thakur in his Jaiva Dharma, he clearly, yes, delineated, explained Jiva Tattva, the origin of the Jiva, the function of the nature of the Jiva, the relation with Maya, Bhagavan, all these things. Therefore, the Jiva, another name for Jiva Shakti is called Tatastha Shakti. Marginal potency. The jiva is marginal by nature, means he can tata. Tata means the border, the line. The example is given like an ocean. If you look at the ocean, where the land begins and where the water ends, it's hard to clearly define the exact line. But it is always moving. The ocean, the waves are always moving. The water is sometimes high tide, low tide, it's always moving. Where it's very hard to discern where it actually starts. So similarly with Jiva is by nature Tata. Sometimes water, sometimes land. In other words, sometimes he's looking towards the spiritual world, sometimes he's looking towards the material world. Sometimes he's looking towards Maya, sometimes he's looking towards Bhagavan. But Tatashta is not actually a location, a physical location. It is the consciousness of the Jiva. It is the Jiva's position. He is Tatashta by nature. That means sometimes looking towards Maya, sometimes looking towards Bhagavan. Sometimes he is Unmukh, inclined to Bhagavan, sometimes he is Bahirmukh, averse to Bhagavan. And there's only one that Jiva becomes completely 100% Unmukh, one-pointed. Bhagavan develops his seva vritti, his deep desire to serve and engages in premamaya seva. Then he fully adopts the nature of the Sarup Shakti, nature of the spiritual realm. Then his Tatastha nature becomes, he loses that, becomes one with the Sarup Shakti. His nature becomes fully spiritualized. Then he is no more looking here and there. But till that chitbal, that spiritual strength, till he engages in premamaya seva, the Jiva's Tatastha nature will be always functioning, active. It is like example, for instance, when the Jivatma entered into the Brahma Jyoti, he said it's quite like frying a mustard seed. Once you fry a mustard seed, it doesn't matter if you plant it in the ground, it will not sprout, it will not grow. Why? Because it is popped. It is finished. So if the Jiva can lose his seva vritti, then why cannot he also attain his seva vritti permanently? If he can lose it permanently, he can also attain it permanently. When we say losing permanently, sometimes it is said that the Jiva, if he goes to the Brahma Jyoti, then he may again come to your world. In theory, it is maybe possible, like if Narad Rishi or any great Vaishnava, he is moving through the Brahma Jyoti. By Shuddhanam, he somehow awakens that seva vritti again. He makes the impossible possible. When the Jiva Atma, he is seva vritti awakens, then he will leave the Brahma Jyoti, he will have to come again. Be born as a Sarak to Saram. But it is so rare that it practically never happens. Therefore the example of a mustard seed being fried is given. If it wasn't permanent, then they wouldn't have given this example. So it is basically permanent. There is some small astronomical chance maybe that Jiva may get free from that position, but practically if you enter into Brahma, that is it. Your seva vritti will be fried. So on the opposite scale, if the Jivatma attains shelter of the Sarup Shakti and enters the spiritual world and engages in premamaya seva, then his full potential to experience and relish prem manifests and becomes so absorbed in that. So there's no question of him leaving that position. And because Maya Shakti is the inferior Shakti, it is the lower taste, then even if the Jivatma were to have some knowledge about Maya, then he would not leave. It's like if the Brahma Jyoti, it is said that yesterday was giving the example. How many? He said that here, Rupa Goswami's sloka. The Brahmananda was multiplied with the days of Brahma's life. Still it could not compare to one particle of the bliss attained by performing service to the Lord. That is Brahmananda. Brahmananda is millions of times greater than Jarananda. So the contrast between Premamaya Seva, Sevananda, Premananda and Jagananda is so vast that you cannot even fit it. It's not even a discussion. The Jiva could not leave that Premamaya Seva for this suffering. It's impossible. It's like, for instance, now we are all suffering in this world. But if someone were to say, you want to go to prison, do hard labor for, and I will feed you once a day, and you get to drink water twice a day, and you get to stay there your whole life, would you leave your position and go to that? No one in the same mind. This is just a mundane example, and it's the same. No one. So the Jiva Atma being engaged in Premamaya Seva, why you leave that and try to relish Jnana? It's impossible. This conception, this idea is very faulty. Then they say, then the question may arise, okay, then if you have left Krishna once, then what's to say you won't leave him a second time? No, once the jiva, he comes back again and he's learned from him and he won't fall down again. There are philosophies like this. But this has no logic to it, because the jiva, in this material world, someone makes a mistake, it's rare to find a person who learns from mistakes once. Generally the jiva has to suffer again and again until he learns his mistake. The nature of jiva is actually that he may commit the same mistakes again and again. So logically, even that argument has no basis foundation. If the jiva to leave Krishna once, then what's the sense that he wouldn't leave a second time? If you accept the argument that he fell with the spiritual world. And they create all these theories. Jiva is actually in the spiritual world, but then he's lying in a field of flowers and he's meditating, separate from Krishna, and he becomes absorbed in the material world, and then it becomes like a dream. Then in that dream he's wandering in the material world, being born and dying in so many forms, and after when the dream finishes, then he finds himself back in the spiritual world. It is like Mayavadis, they also have this philosophy. The whole material world is like a dream. When you wake up from that dream, then you realize you are Brahma. These are all speculative theories and philosophies, trying to speculate on the nature of the jiva, nature of material world, spiritual world, all these things. Rather than reading the Siddhanta, hearing from Vaishnava, accepting what is the reality, and they try to rationalize and establish their own position, and they come up with all these speculative theories. Krishna clearly says in the Gita, anyone who attains me never has to take birth again. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoga tattva. Tattva deha punarjanma nividyate. Also he said, anyone who knows that my birth and karma is spiritual, Arjuna, such a person also, he never has to take birth again. So clearly, these things have been established. Shloka Greta Yonini Bhutani Sarvanit Upadaraya Aham Krishnasya Jagata Pravava Pralayastahana. Knowing that all created beings have been born from these two prakritis, I alone am the sole cause of the creation and destruction of the entire universe. Bhavanubhava. Here Sri Bhagavan establishes himself as the cause of the universe, for he is the origin of both these Shaktis. Maya Shakti as Kshetra the field and Jiva Shakti as Kshetra Gya, the nerve of the field, are the two causes of all moving and non-moving created beings. Thus, as the controller of these Shaktis, I am the creator of the entire universe. At the time of annihilation, these Shaktis dissolve and rest in me, supreme energetic Shaktiman. I am therefore their only destroyer. Prakashika Vritti. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes Krishna as saying, Chit and Achit, conscious and inert, that is the jivas and the inert creation, have emanated from these two prakritis. Both Maya and Jiva Shakti Maya are my potencies, and they originate from me. I, Bhagavan, am therefore the root cause of both the origin and dissolution of the universe. 7. Matta parantaram nanyat kinchil asti dhananjaya. Maya sarvam idam protam sutra mani ganaiva. Odananja, there is nothing superior to me. This whole universe is dependent on me like jewels strung on a thread. Also sometimes Jiva Shakti can be, Jiva Tattva can be very complicated also. Even some Vaishnavas, they have described that the Jiva who come into this material world, they are directly inserted by Vishnu into the material world. Ordinarily we hear the conception that only after the Jivas who are already here, after the dissolution, the Mahapralaya, then the Jivas, they get withdrawn back into Mahavishnu's body. Then those Jivas who are already in this material world, then those Jivas, Mahavishnu injects into the material world directly. And they, according to their karma, because they have karma, according to their karma, they will get a specific body. And then there are those Jivas that Mahavishnu creates, and then the Jiva either looking towards the spiritual world or material world, they go either way. This is what we generally understand. I've heard some Vaishnavas describe that actually, so Kadasta is on the location, therefore the Jiva directly gets inserted into the material world by Bhagavan. And he's only here by the mercy of the Lord, then he goes to the spiritual world. But regardless whether it is directly the Maharaj injecting the Jiva, Gurudev said that the Jiva looks both ways. And Bhakti Thakur is described like that. He said like a fish in a river. Sometimes he's going swimming to one side, sometimes swimming to the other side. It's the nature of the Jiva. But anyhow, Bhakti Thakur is reconciled all conceptions regarding Jiva Tattva in chapter 16, 15, 16, 17 of Jagannath. There the questions are asked, that Bhagavan, knowing that the Jiva is very weak, why did he place the Jiva close to Maya? Knowing that then he may be attracted to Maya. And then why did the Jivas have to suffer for the sake of Bhagavan's happiness, for his pastimes? Isn't this cruelty? And why couldn't the Bhagavan directly, why was the material world have to be created? Why can't the Bhagavan send the Jiva directly to the spiritual world? Like many questions like that is asked there. And Bhakti Thakur, one by one, he has answered. He said that ultimately the free will, independence is there in the Jiva. He chooses. There is no fault on Bhagavan's side. It is true that for the sake of pastime, Bhagavan has created all these things. But ultimately in the end, Bhagavan himself, he comes looking for the Jiva. And he delivers the Jiva and takes him back to his spiritual world. So something that ultimately leads in happiness, the process cannot consider to be suffering. Like if someone is training very hard to win Olympic gold, training, sweat and tears and blood, so much time and money and energy wasted. But finally when he wins that Olympic gold, then he thinks, everything was worth it. Then when he looks back at everything he did, all his training, he looks back with fondness. I did, he becomes happy remembering that. That does not become a source of suffering, but it becomes a source of joy for him. So the ultimate end of the Jiva is to enter into Bhagavan's Seva, engage in Premmoy Seva. And this small, insignificant time the Jiva spends here in the material world, it is so insignificant, it is so inconsequential that it really has no meaning, and it becomes completely forgotten. It's not a source of, it is not real suffering in the true sense. So Bhakti Thakur describes, so ultimately the Jivas attain true happiness. And Bhagavan is the reason why he has created the material world, because he wants the Jiva in order to offer his prem to him. Because Bhagavan is Rasik Shekhar, he is also Param Karuna. He is supremely merciful. If Bhagavan is to establish this quality of mercy, then there has to be some fallen Jivas who deliver. Therefore, Bhagavan engages in this pastime of helping the Jivas. So, and even in the spiritual world, there is conception of meeting and separation. Although there, in this world, separation is suffering, but there, actually, separation is actually happiness. Externally, it takes the form of suffering, but in reality, it is pure happiness. So the Jiva, even though he is separated from Bhagavan, ultimately that union is soon going to take place, and therefore this separation is not real suffering. Jiva Tattva is very, very, is complex in many ways actually. It is simple but also complex. Therefore, one desires to understand Jiva Tattva, one must read Jayaveda. Chapter 15, 16, 17. So here, chapter 7, he said, Bhavanubhav. Bhagavan said, in this way, I am the cause of everything. Just as cause and effect are not different from each other, so are the energy and the energetic. It is said in Shruti, Ekam Eva Dvitiyam Brahma. Before the creation of this universe, there was only one absolute reality without a second. Moreover, nothing exists except for Advaya Brahma. One non-dual absolute truth in various forms. Brihadaranya Upanishad. Also in Shruti it is stated, since my Shaktis are the cause of all creation, I am the cause of everything. In this way, after first explaining his nature of being everything, Bhagavan is now explaining his quality of being all-pervading by the words Mayi and so on. Sarvam Idam means both the Chit conscious and Jat inner universes are non-different from me, because they are my creations, effects. In other words, they are my Sarup, and just as jewels are strung on a thread, they are strung on me, Antaryami. See, Madhusudan Saraswati Part has written, Sutra Mani Gana Iva. This example merely proves that the universe is resting in Bhagavan, but it does not prove that he is the cause of the universe. However, gold is the cause of a gold earring. It is an appropriate example to establish him as the cause of this universe. You cannot have a gold earring without gold. Therefore, you cannot have this material universe without Bhagavan. Everything is energy. You cannot have energy without the energetic. That is what he is saying. Without the energetic, the source of energy, where will the energy come from? So if you see energy, by inference, it automatically implies there is an energetic source of energy. Therefore, this material world is all Bhagavan's energy. It implies that it has come from energetic. Nothing is born out of nothing. You cannot born nothing out of nothing. Yes, everything has come from something. So, it is, when you have the concept of something, then you can have a concept of nothing. You understand? If there was no concept of something, then how would there be a concept of nothing? How can you compare? If there's no something, then there's only nothing, then you don't know about anything else. There's only nothing and there's nothing. It's like, if you have something, then you can really understand what is nothing. Then nothing has meaning and value. But without something, then nothing is just, the concept cannot exist. Like Atma can only exist when there is Paramatma. Atma word comes from Paramatma. Ishvara comes from the word Parameshvara. Brahma comes from the word Parabrahma. So you have the origin, then you can have something that you can compare to the origin. You have, it's like perfection. If you don't know what the concept of imperfection is, then how do you know what is perfection? Perfection means that there is no imperfections, right? And if there is, so you have, that's the whole point. There has to be some imperfection, concept of imperfection. Then it is perfection. So even in perfection, there must be some imperfection. That is the material world. Bhagavan's creation, everything is perfect. In that perfection, there is one aspect that is imperfect. And that's what makes the whole creation whole and perfect. It creates that variety. But even then, when you look at the imperfection, it is not really imperfection, because ultimately in the end, it's fully under Bhagavan's control, is related to it. Even the jivas who enter into the imperfect world, Bhagavan calls and brings them back to it. So therefore, without imperfection, there is no perfection. So therefore, without something, nothing cannot exist. So without Bhagavan, there is no conception. Brahma, Parama, nothing, none of these exist. Bhagavan is the source. Also in Shruti it is stated, since my Shaktis are the cause of all creations, I am the cause of everything. In this way, after first explaining his nature of being everything, Bhagavan is now explaining his quality of being all-pervading by the word Mayi and so on. Sarvam Idam means both the Chit, conscious and Jat inner universes are non-different from me, because they are my creation effects. In other words, they are my Sarup. Oh, this is Prakashila Vritti. In the previous slok, Sri Bhagavan established himself as the independent cause of creation and dissolution. Now in the present slok, he is establishing that as all-pervading Antaryami, he alone is the cause of maintenance. I, Sri Krishna, am the Paratattva, and the cause of all causes. Lord Brahma also established this principle in Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. To make this subject easier to understand, we will cite concepts from Govinda Bhashya written by Bhagavad-Gita Bhushan. Para Brahma Sarup Sri Krishna is the supreme absolute reality, Paratattva Vastu. There is nothing superior to him, because there is no other independent entity. Yasmat Param Na Param Asti Kinchit Svetashvatara Upanishad. These statements from the Shrutis have not accepted the existence of anything higher than the all-worshipful Brahma. He is one without a second. There is no equal, there is no competition. People say, oh, Hinduism is polytheism. But no, Hinduism is monotheism. Well, Parabrahma is one. But that one Parabrahma has many incarnations. He is visible according to, in different ways according to his devotees. Like there is one moon, but the moon can be viewed in 30 different phases. From the waning moon to the waxing moon. A foolish person will say there are 30 different moons. So every day of the year, the moon looks different. But in reality, it's one moon that is perceived in 30 different ways. Similarly, there is one Bhagavan, but he's perceived, according to his different Shaktis, he's perceived in different ways. In reality, Bhagavan is one, Parabrahma is one, Advaya Gyan Paratat, the supreme absolute truth is non-dual, it is one. Therefore, Hinduism is actually monotheism, it is true form. Therefore, one who understands this Siddhanta, then they can understand this conception. How Bhagavan being one, he can be many also. You cannot limit Bhagavan. Bhagavan means he possesses all bhav. Bhav means opulences. Van means possessor. He possesses all opulences, he is Bhagavan. He has Agatana, Gatana, Patiyas, Shakti. He can make the impossible possible. You cannot limit Bhagavan anyway. You cannot say, he cannot do this, he cannot do that. Like in Western philosophy, they have this question, can God create such a big stone he cannot lift? Yes, he can create such a big stone, even God cannot lift it. But then if God wants it, he can lift it. You cannot say no, Bhagavan. He can do whatever he wants. You cannot limit him. If he wants to be in one slope, he wants to be in any slope, that's up to him. But he is one. And there is no, he is one without a second. Here said in the Vedas, Svetashvatara Upanishad, it said, I have known this effulgent Brahma, which is like the sun, and beyond all darkness, ignorance. I have known this effulgent Brahma, which is like the sun, and beyond all darkness. One attains immortality and the goal of human life by knowing him. The only means to attain immortality is by knowledge of this Mahapurush. There is nothing superior to him. After accepting the superiority of Parabrahma established in his mantras, it is further said, those who know the pure or constitutional nature of Brahma attain immortality in due course of time. Otherwise, there is no cessation to their miseries. If something is accepted as superior to Brahma, then Shri Krishna's statement, Matta Parandananyat Kinchit Asanandya becomes false. To bring the Bhashya. In other words, there can be nothing greater than Bhagavan, Parabrahma. Vadanti tat tattva vidat tattam jnanam advayam. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan is everything. Said in Bhagavatam, tattva vidas, vadanti tat tattva vidas. Those who are tattva vids, they have proclaimed Yat Tattam Advayam, Yat Tattam Jnana Advayam. That this Jnana is Advayam. This Tattva, Tat Tattva, that means the Tattva of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Is what? Yat Tattam Advayam, Jnana Advayam. It is Advaya Jnana Paratattva. The non-dual Absolute Truth. Advaya means no duality. Means there is nothing which is separate from him. There is nothing that exists separately from Bhagavan. Everything that you see in creation, everything that you cannot see also, everything is related to Bhagavan. There is nothing exists separate from Bhagavan. And that Advaya Jnana Paratattva is described in three ways: Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shabdete. That Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan, three forms. Therefore, Matta Parandarananyat Kinchit Astidanandaya, all these universes, they are resting on me like pearls on a thread. Bhagavan is sustaining the creation. Ashwatthana Upanishad repeats the same. Na tat samastha vyarikas tishyate. There is nothing equal to or greater than Savishaya Brahma Tattva. Na tasya karanam chalitate, na tat samastha vyarikas tishyate, parashkati vividhaya vashuyate, svabhavini jnana bala kriyata. Bhagavan of all his shaktis, he is the cause of all causes and nothing exists separate from him. Nothing is equal or greater than him. And Parasya Shakti Vividhaya Vishwate, by his Parakakti, by his internal potency, he is sustaining and maintaining everything. And these potencies have three functions, they are known as Jnana, Bala, Kriya Shakti. Jnana Shakti, Bala Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Jnana Shakti means Chit Shakti. Bala Shakti means Santiti Shakti. And Kriya Shakti means Rajati Shakti. So, okay. Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya Prabhasmi Sa Shishuryayo. Pranava Sarvavedeshu Sabda Ke Purusham Paurasham Drishu. O Kaunteya, I am the tasting water, the radiance of the moon and sun, and the syllable Om, all Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and the ability in man. Bhavanuva. As Antaryami, I enter into and exist in this universe, which was created by me. Similarly, I alone exist as the essence in all humans and all other living entities. Somewhere I am the cause and somewhere I am the effect. So Bhagavan is speaking this and the next three slokas beginning with the word Rasoham in order to establish this truth. Apsu, water means the rasa, taste in water is its cause. It is also my opulence, Bhuti. Similarly, Maya effulgence is the cause of the sun and the moon. And Omkar is the cause of the Vedas. They are also my Vibhuti. I am also the cause of the sky, sound, and the very essence of human beings. It is the source of their vital energy, Purusha. Bhagavan is saying, I am all these things. And therefore, everything that you see in existence is related to Bhagavan. Therefore, we should understand that nothing exists separate from Bhagavan. Gaur Brahmananda Hari